Hey friends, it's Ashley, your pet content creator coach. And hey, in this video today, we're talking all about the different tiers of being a content creator. So this is actually a conversation I just had with our group coaching program. And when it comes to being in a certain tier, a lot of people get all hung up about being a nano influencer or wanting to be a mega influencer. And they're like, where do I belong? And how much money can I make? What are the pros and cons of having more? All that stuff. So that's what we're talking about today. But if you are new here, go to the description below, get your free ebook, your workbook, get your 2-day course. It's all free. And it is going to get you started on the right foot for becoming a pet influencer. Highly recommend. But let's go ahead and dive in. All right, so you are a brand new influencer. What does that make you called? So I usually call people brand new or aspiring or small, but the formal name is nano. So you're a nano influencer if you have less than 10,000 followers. And you may say, why 10,000? So some people actually call this more like 1,000 to 10,000. Honestly, you're going to find that even some of the verbiage that I'm telling you is different than what other people say. There's no perfect amount because let's be honest, these are terms that people have literally made up just in the past few years. Anyway, being a nano influencer, we're going to call it 0 to 10,000. And that's because in a recent post when I was talking to people within our group coaching program, I said it was 1,000 to 10,000. And then I had some of our creators in our program say, well, what am I? I have like 50 followers. We're going to call nano influencers 0 to 10,000. And again, why 10,000? That is because majority of paid opportunities, they usually start at about 10,000 followers. So there are things over on TikTok where you need 10,000 followers. And then I tell most people that it's around that 10 to 20,000 follower mark where you're actually going to start getting paid brand deals, which is awesome. And we talk all about that throughout this YouTube channel. So subscribe and check out some of those videos. But nevertheless, if we were to think back in like 2016 time, that 10,000 followers was like a huge deal. That was a huge deal to have 10,000 followers. It was a huge deal to have 1,000 followers. But nowadays, because it is easier to gain followers through short form video content, that bar has been raised to about 10,000. In addition, I want to add on to that during this time, it is likely that you get a ton of free gifted stuff. So that's awesome. Again, I have a lot of clients who are purely happy with just getting a ton of free stuff, free pet beds, free cat litter boxes, the fancy ones, free food, pet food and pet toys, leashes and harnesses and crates and all that type of stuff. So many people are just fine with that because, all in all, like there's some really expensive stuff that you can get for free and you can do that as a nano influencer. Going into the second one is a micro influencer. So micro influencer, we're going to put that at 10,000 to 50,000 followers. So these are those creators who they've figured it out. They've been here a while, but they aren't a huge influence. Most of the time they have a really good engaged audience. So they get lots of comments and likes and shares. That's great and all, but they can also start getting some of those paid deals. Now, I'm not saying it's impossible to get a paid deal under 10,000 followers because I have had one person that I've worked with personally who has gotten a paid deal under 10,000 followers. So it is a possibility. However, you are likely going to start getting those $75, $150, $200, $300 opportunities. Personally, when I had one of my accounts at that level, it was like 30,000, maybe 30 to 50,000 followers. I was able to get brand deals that ranged from like $200 to $700. So per reel, like per short form video content. So note that is a huge reality. And that's a big deal for only being the second tier up. The third one is a mid-tier influencer. So mid-tier, this is where things get a little tricky with how we categorize things. With this one, we're going to categorize this more from like 50 to 500,000. I totally get that there are other categories within this where it's like 50 to 100, 100 to 250,000, 250 to 500,000. But for now, we're going to actually put this at 50 to about 500,000 for the reason that on TikTok, you literally can almost get paid the exact same amount for a piece of content if you have like 75,000 followers or if you have like 250,000 followers. No joke. So we have to keep that in mind. I really want to keep that in mind because I don't want you to think that it is linear in regard to how much you can get paid with how many followers you have. Because so many other components that are important to consider once you start growing and want to actually make money off of your content. There's engagement, there is your brand vibe, there's your media kits. There's so many things that we talk about that are impacting how much you can charge for your content. Now, what's really awesome about this section of being a mid-tier is you can actually, no joke, go full-time as a pet content creator, as any content creator, but that's my experience is being in pet influencing. So honestly, I personally don't even know how much people make in other certain specific niches. So I'm just going off of my experience of being a pet influencer. But nevertheless, for literally this point, you could be making anywhere from like $500 for a reel to like $2,000 for a reel. Depends on the platform, depends on what we're talking about, but you could easily make $2,000 for a video. And this is really cool because if you follow the strategies that I talk about in regard to monetization and making money, you could truly, again, go full-time from just 2 brand deals. But from there is where things really drop off. And when I mean drop off, as in there are very few content creators going forward on the tiers. And these are macro influencers and mega influencers. So macro would be like 500,000 plus. These are the ones who really do have an influence, and they could be making thousands with an S, thousands of dollars per piece of content that they give a brand or that they do for a company. And then a mega or celebrity, they're called different things. And most of these they have different names, but mega or celebrity influencer, those are the ones who literally make tens of thousands of dollars per piece of content. There was this one influencer that I saw this article on. She charged $75,000 for a TikTok. I think it was like a TikTok and a reel. And I'm just sitting there like, that's more than what most people make in a year. And she made it from one video. Like, it just blows my mind, the money that's in this. But anyway, if you're at that level, you're probably not watching these videos. But I know a lot of you aspire to be at that point. But to be honest, truly through my experience in working with so many dozens and dozens of creators one-on-one, I know that you could legitimately go part-time or full-time, that your dog or cat literally could be making your part-time or full-time income at a micro influencer level. It's pretty crazy. But anyway, if you're ready to learn more about monetization, making money as an influencer or content creator, I have tons of resources in the description. So if you go down there, you're going to find things like audits, profile audits, one-on-one coaching where it's just you and me and we talk about your profile, our online group coaching program, and all sorts of different ways that you can get involved with Petfluencer Secrets and get involved with me if you like my vibe. But otherwise, just subscribe and keep learning because I genuinely want to just help as many people as I can. So with that in mind, I'll see you in the next video.